Here in the first game of our doubleheader, we will see the Sixers play their first meaningful game since losing Game 7, remember, in that heartbreaking fashion to the Raptors in the second round? And if it's a Sixers game, you know you want to hear from Joel Embiid. When we sat down to talk, I'll admit he shocked me with at least one of the things he said. And we also discussed this rivalry with the Celtics because it's getting spicy.
You lost 3 of the 4 games you played against the Celtics last year. How bad is the blood between these teams?
I feel like this year's going to be different. They lost a lot. We got one of theirs, which was a big piece for them. But they also added a great player in Kemba. So we're going to see how it goes. But I'm interested in that matchup, and I feel like we got a pretty good chance to come out on top.
One good way to make sure you can improve against a team is to steal one of their best players. What did you think when you heard that Al was going to sign with you guys?
I was surprised. Boston let one of the key guys go, especially to their rivals. And then they also lost another guy that was good for them. So we're going to see.
You guys had a lot of changes this offseason, too. You got Josh Richardson. You did lose Jimmy Butler. What kind of loss is it for you personally, just not to have him around with you?
It was a big loss because me and him, we got to the point where we were really close. That's my guy. That's my brother forever. I wish he was on the team because I feel like the relationship that I built with him could have gone a long way. Now he puts me in a situation where I'm gonna love it, where I gotta take over.
Jimmy did take a lot of those clutch, game-winning type shots. Do you think you're the one who can do that this year?
Yes, I've been working on it all summer. Last year, most of my turnovers came from, guys double teaming or me driving and them swiping at the ball. And, so this summer we basically worked a lot on situations with the shot clock running down, guys coming at me, and I gotta find a way to get a shot off. Hopefully, all my hard work is gonna pay off.
I do want to go back to the end of last season just because that Game 7 you guys had against Toronto was so dramatic.
Is this the dagger? Toronto has won!
And we saw you get really emotional on the court. What do you remember feeling in the moment now that you have some perspective on it?
I feel like it's just a competitive spirit on me. I actually went back home this summer and then, they made fun of me. Africans, we're tough. We don't cry, we don't like mess around or whatever. And the elders, they were like making fun of me.
What did people say to you? What did your friends say to you back home?
Like, you can't cry, like you African, like we tougher than this and that. So that should tell you that like, I wanted it bad.
How long into the summer did it take you to get over what happened?
Man, it's still there. I still think about it. Watch that game all the time. Well, I watch every game this past season. But I knew that it was a motivation for me to work harder and work on myself. I feel like I was slow in the playoffs. That's why I felt like I needed to get a little lighter.
You lost about 20 pounds this offseason. How hard was that?
It was different because the whole summer I couldn't really play basketball. It was more about rehabbing and making sure my knee was fine. So you gotta have your days where you eat what you like, and your days where you actually do the right thing.
You're not the only one who took what happened in the playoffs and tried to work on stuff over the summer. The Brooklyn Nets' Jared Allen heard all the talk of how you dominated him, and he said that he put on a bunch of muscle this off season. Does that mean we'll get a little bit more on-court trash talk when you guys meet up again?
Well, I'm not. I don't think I'm talking trash this year. So
I've heard that from you before. Last year, in the middle of the season, you were like, "I'm done. I'm not talking trash anymore. I'm not doing any more on social media," and that lasted like a month, Joel.
I'm a changed man. I'm not doing none of that this year. I changed.
Can I play this tape for you later in the season?
We gonna see, maybe.
You had issues with tendonitis in your knee. You ended up missing 14 of the Sixers' last 24 regular season games. What have you done so that this season it doesn't create so much of a problem?
Last year I started off playing a lot of minutes, and it kind of like caught up to me in the second part of the season. So this year is all about like managing it the right way. You can't just come out of the gate and play 36 minutes a game. You got to go slowly, kind of limit what I can do without actually hurting the team or myself.
I know one of your other goals is to win that Defensive Player of the Year title. Came close last year. Are you going to be the Defensive Player of the Year this year?
Yeah, with the schedule that we have, without many games that think I'm going to play, I have a chance to be winning MVP or Defensive Player of the Year. We got to be the number 1 seed, and we got to win a lot of games, and everything else is going to take care of itself.
He wants the Hakeem Olajuwon special. Thank you to Joel. Always one of the best interviews in the game. Trash talk, how long are you giving him?
Tonight.
Tonight, that's it. That's how long the trash talk bow is going to last?
Yeah.
It's about it. I don't buy it. I'm sorry. You also heard Trace Embiid saying he wants to win both DPOY and MVP, and he wants to, of course, win the title. What do you think of those goals? Are they realistic, given all of his history?
I think 2 of the 3 is reachable. I think he can be MVP of the league. I think he can be Defensive Player of the Year, given his talent, the team that he's on, the cast that he's surrounded by. I think they will be top 2 in the Eastern Conference. He's going to be the leader of this team. However, I don't think they can win the championship, but Defensive Player of the Year, if he stays in shape, and does what he do every single night. And MVP carried his team. Like he said, he's going to have to be the go-to guy at the end of games because there's no more Jimmy Butler, so that burden is on his shoulders, and I think he can carry that given what we saw the last time we see him walking off the court.
Rachel, I talked to a couple of weeks ago. I've never heard a guy's wide-ranging goals. Okay, Defensive Player of the Year and MVP. Okay, he also wants to get the number 1 seed. Mm-hmm. He also doesn't want to overburden himself so he doesn't play too many minutes. He also, wants to win the championship. He also wants to play on the perimeter and be able to create on the perimeter, and he also wants to be able to shoot and take the last shot.
It's important to have goals, Brian.
I respect it. I don't know where it's going to settle, but I do think the most important thing for the Philly 76ers, beyond all that stuff, is his health.
Yeah.
If they don't have him and have him healthy, they don't have a chance. He was not good. He was not Embiid level in the playoffs last year.
No.
That's what's most important for
Well,
them.
he started about maybe not putting his foot on the gas so hard at the beginning of the season to have more left at the end of the season.
But still wants to win MVP and Defensive Player of the Year.
Hey, again, goals. It all starts tonight. You heard him talking at the beginning of that interview about that Celtics-Sixers rivalry. It's getting good. It's going to be a really good game tonight. Brian, thank you so much for joining us. We will see you back here tomorrow. You guys stick with us, though, because we got Adrian Wojnarowski coming up. We've got Stephen A. Smith coming up. We've got Zach Lowe coming up. And here is what the Jump recommends. Adrian's podcast with Draymond Green and Warriors GM Bob Myers. It is so good. I listened to it on my way into work. After the break, you will hear it. You'll hear about Draymond talking about the fallout from his altercation with KD.